we're getting back to Dudjom Lingpa, this 19th century. He was around in the 1800s, right? And um, alongside Mifam Rinpoche and several other very powerful yogis and practitioners that, well, when they were inventing cars and capitalism and all kinds of fun stuff over here, they were meditating and exploring ancient psychology. It's essentially what this is, everybody. We don't need to really glamorize it or anything. Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, Dzogchen, anything like this is essentially psychology, timeless, ancient psychology. And so, speaking of which, the visual spectrum is considered to make anywhere from 80 to 90% of our reality. And then the visual field itself is rendered by our mind. And everything from shapes to movement is created by our mind, according to modern psychology. Why they haven't taken a mind orientation yet in science, I'm not sure. Maybe we're being deliberately degenerate. Who knows? But here we are taking consideration that our mind is highly involved in reality. And so we're going to go into this text some more. Can you show the picture, Yeshi, for everybody here in the live yogis? Rigdzin. Ooh, very nice. Can you invert it, maybe? Looks like the medicine ball. Oh, okay. Very nice. Rigdzin Duddul Dorje, right? So on another occasion, maybe we'll invert it. Yeah, she's earning his living. I'm making him earn it. All right. On another occasion, Rigdzin Duddul Dorje said to me, Vajra, the eternal Vajra, for the actual meaning, look to space itself. Anybody here remember what a Vajra means? What Vajra means? Anybody know what language that is? Indestructible. Yeah. Typically associated with the thunderbolt, and it's Sanskrit, supreme weapon, and also has been associated with a dagger, diamond, or thunderbolt. And in Tibetan, we'll call it Dorje. So, for the actual meaning, look to space itself. In revealing the meaning of this, he stated the following. This empty space is the ground for the arising of the entire universe. For example, it is like a mirror being the ground for the arising of a reflection which has never existed as anything other than the mirror. It is like water being the ground for the arising of the moon's image, which has never existed as anything other than water. And it is like the sky being the ground for the arising of a rainbow, which has never existed as anything other than the sky. This space, since it cannot be injured, is invulnerable. Since space cannot be conquered or destroyed, it is indestructible. Since space abides as the basis for the unfolding of the world of appearances and possibilities, it is authentic. Since space cannot be altered by flaws or positive qualities, it is incorruptible. Since space is free of transition or change, it is stable. since space completely permeates even the tiniest subatomic particle. It is in all ways unobstructed. And since nothing whatsoever can damage it, space is in all ways invincible. So let's tune into this, everybody, so that we're not just doing the lip service here. Let's relax, eyes open, and notice space in your visual field. Empty space. Anybody not noticing empty space?
I guess I'm not really sure what I'm noticing.
Well, we have some idea of space, right? In this modern world, the final frontier, space that holds all the stars and the planets. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So, does the space hold these symbols?
Yeah, definitely.
What about the sound?
Happens in space.
Yeah, now we got a good idea of space. Thank you for that inquiry. That's good. I think it helps everybody. So, what about the words I'm saying right now? Everybody agree, right? That that's within space too? Anybody got a problem? Are we good though? Yeah? If you got that, that's big, right? That's a big one. Because why is that a big deal? It's not just my voice that's in space right now. It's your body, it's your thoughts, it's your emotions, it's everything. Your entire state of consciousness. If you were a pot of water right now, space would be the pot, you would be the water. So naturally, I can sit here right now and my entire being, everything is in space. Anybody disagree with that? Are we sitting in space right now or no? We are. What if I start doing this? Am I still in space? Yeah? What if I get real pissed off? Like this? Still in space? What if I'm happy? Happy, happy! Still in space? Okay, just making sure. We're all in the same space here. Isn't it amazing that we share this space? I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't normally say this because it's the world that we're in. This collective, it gets crazy. But this space is kind of that's the Dharmakaya. That's the mother. That's Tara. That's God. That's the divinity. That's the space that we're sharing. So whether we call it empty space, or other people call it Tara, and other people call it God. Oh, feel it with your heart. Very nice. Yeah. We can sort of drop into it, right? I think so. And everybody, you all have your own experiences, right? You have your own release. It's so beautiful like that. You're all the sovereign rulers of your own world, especially when you unbind and break free. So now you know exactly why in Dzogchen, the highest meditation of Buddha Dharma, they use space so much. Not just as an analogy, but to point you. Because your mind is space. It's just like space, it's everywhere without moving. It's nice and stable. You cannot destroy it, you cannot change it. And like that, we're not just surrounded by space right now, everybody. We're surrounded by mind. And that means we can be nourished. We can be held by the mind. Xiaoyan? Yeah.
I have a question. I think maybe because of the language, my native language is not English. I have some misunderstanding about space. When people speaking like space, I always think space is something like the space in front of my eyes or in the room. But I feel my thoughts is in a different space, not the space I can see or I can feel. So, and if my question is clear,
Yes? Yes, your
and
question is clear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how
Okay.
can I
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
prove this? Okay, okay, good. Thank
Can
you.
we stop there? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's meditate together. Can you sit for a second?
Yes.
Okay. And can you see my eyes?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Relax. Even if it's awkward, stay with my eyes. Don't move. Even if it's a little uncomfortable, whatever. Notice this space, the presence of our mind that's here right now. If I say something, the sounds are within this awareness, this like space. And if I think something, let's have a thought, okay? Let's have a thought about the sun is bright. The sun is very bright today. That's just one thought that we're having. Isn't that in the same presence?
Yes.
It's a kind of space like awareness, right?
Yes.
And there you go.
So the
You sound,
spatialness.
you sound slightly different now after we did the pointing out. So you
Oh,
have a
really?
little, you saw, right? You saw what I'm talking about.
Actually, yeah, I get that when you say space about where awareness is not a space, it's not, or it's more than a space I can see, because the space I can see is in that space that somehow that link to awareness.
You got it.
and and the infinite of awareness is not the size and dimension, it's more like the capability or
Mhm. The
to
knowingness, exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
no, yes, exactly, yes. No, yes.
Yeah, they call that the capacity. Maybe that's the word that you were looking for, capacity of.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. I, Nangzi, that's how the feeling I got too. Very good. That's great. Okay, so now we have a very strong idea of space like awareness. We're going to combine those now. There's space as we know it as an element, which is becoming very interesting in quantum physics, right? These quantum fields within empty space with infinite potential and burping out fundamental particles somehow. Everything coming from nothing somehow. The great, fallacy that's been asserted for many, many years is now becoming theorized. So space itself is infused with mind. Mind consumes us. It's always holding us like a mama, like a parent, like a divine something, whatever words you want to choose for that. In Dzogchen, we leave it ineffable. We say, all right, at a certain point, I'm going to release into this and stop trying to define it. And you're free of even the feeling of trying to define it, which is a great relinquishment, something that is a phase in any person's natural awakening. There will be a point where you don't even want to define this anymore. You don't even want to figure it out anymore. Very powerful. So we'll read Oh, we are a little bit over time here, but hey, I haven't seen you all in a couple of sessions. So, how much more is to this section, by the way? It wouldn't be bad to make another section out of it. Okay, yeah, we'll just come back to it if you can mark it there, because this point is incredibly profound, and it'd be good if we continued on with the depth and the mindfulness that we're using to explore this text. All right, so thank you everyone so much. Again, it is my honor and a privilege to be hosting these and to be sharing this Dharma with you all and just giving kind of my take on it. And of course, like I always say, you have your own wisdom mind. So it's absolutely amazing in that way. And Little Bear has his own wisdom mind. So thank you. I'm just very, very grateful, and still I'm appreciating being warm now, thanks to the insulation and everything. And I'm feeling warmer in the heart too, thanks to you all. So you all are insulating me as well. And are there any final thoughts, comments, questions before we check out then? Everybody gonna be good then? All good? Have a beautiful day. Relax, drink some water, get some good food. Okay, so we'll just take a moment of silence here. Little Bear, you don't interrupt because you knew I was gonna say it that time. He interrupted. All right, this is a precious time, Little Bear. You don't do that. So we'll just take a moment of silence for the dedication. And deep bow to you, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful day.